The world. That's when about 75 Igbo people decided to rebel against the slavers who had taken them on the 3-month voyage from West Africa to St. Simon's Island. Mitchell Roberts first learned this and other lessons in a one-room schoolhouse on the island where today she directs the African American Heritage Coalition.
As they was on the ship, they decided that this was not the life that they wanted. This was not what they bargained for.
So they took control of the ship and drove their captors into the water. But there were still men on the shore waiting to force the Igbo onto plantations.
When the ship or boats docked, they just walked over into the water. They decided that's what they would do. The water brought us, and the water will take us away.
What you believe happened next depends on what you or your ancestors needed from the story.
Even this story now has grown into something larger than what happened on that day.
That's Griffin Lotson, Amy's cousin and the vice chairman of the Gullah Geechee Cultural Heritage Commission. He remembers being told by his father that when the Igbo went into the water, they didn't drown, they flew home.
And the Flying African stories come about because the only thing you had in your mind, like the Igbos, was being free.
Freedom was not on the mind of Georgia planters after the incident. In a letter written not long after the rebellion, Savannah slave trader William Mine saved his sympathy for a white overseer. Poor fellow lost his life, Mine wrote. As for how Mine and others in his class felt about the 12 Igbo in the group that ultimately drowned,
these Africans are money to them. They are wealth to them.
That's Amir Jamal Toure, Gullah Geechee Fellow at Georgia Southern University. Toure says it's wrong to interpret what happened at the IGBO landing site as a mass suicide.
That's somebody else shaping the narrative.
Instead, he says, see the drowning as an act of resistance.
They're like saying that basically no man owns my soul. Only God owns my soul.
Bobby Aniewku says that's a story that's traveled the globe.
And it's called the first Freedom March in the United States.
Aniewku, born in Nigeria, is a Ozo, or spiritual advisor in the Igbo tradition. He's also an Atlanta attorney who first heard of the story on a St. Simon's vacation. Then, in 2016, Aniewku was inspired to do more work at the Igbo landing site. He's building on a visit by Igbo descendants from Haiti, Brazil, the Bahamas, and Barbados years earlier. He and others believed the souls of the rebel Igbo were trapped in the water.
They're still there. After all these years, they never left. They died of violent death.
So Aniewku and other Igbo leaders performed a rite of passage called Ikwa Ozo, which means something like celebrating the dead.
Now their souls are at peace.
And, says Bobby Aniewku, that set the souls of Igbo landing free.